He documented life in the Central area for decades. Now, Al Smith's photos are being shared as a tribute. The Seattle Mariners encourage more kids of color to partake in America's pastime. If you're in need of medical, dental, or vision care, we'll tell you how you can receive services for free. These stories and more next on CityStream. Hi, I'm Enrique Cerna. Welcome to CityStream from Washington Hall. A variety of ethnic groups have held social and cultural gatherings here for 115 years. It's also been a popular performance hall, hosting entertainers like Duke Ellington, Billie Holiday, Jimi Hendrix, Elvis Costello, Macklemore, and the Massive Monkees. Built in 1908 by the Danish Brotherhood, Washington Hall thrived for a century, but later fell into disrepair. It was in danger of demolition before nonprofit Historic Seattle stepped in to save it. The hall is now home to 3 emerging arts organizations: 206 Zulu, Black Power Unlimited, and Voices Rising. One man who knew this neighborhood well was noted photographer Al Smith. Smith spent 65 years documenting the people and events in Seattle's central area. His photos are acclaimed for the expressive yet intimate way he chronicled life. Some of his work is on display right here inside Washington Hall, and soon it will be seen in other places as well. Connie Thompson looks back on Al Smith's impressive body of work.
He was always a photographer. He was an artist. It was like you were engaged in what was happening at that particular moment that he would take the photographs. What he covered was happy. You know, he showed people enjoying themselves. And when you look at his pictures, for me, you feel that. And so when I want to feel good, I look at some of his pictures because it's a nice escape.
A great photographer always finds a way to be in just the right spot at just the right moment. And that was Al Smith Sr.
He knew when to snap that shot. People are having a great time. He was tuned in to capturing those moments that brought us joy.
Absolute joy. I feel like, wow, wish I'd have been alive to be around that scene. That would have been pretty cool.
You can just feel the audience. That's, to me, a very energetic photograph.
If anyone has a greater appreciation for Al Smith's work, it would be his son, Al Smith Jr., or Butch to those who know him. Butch says his dad took so many pictures because he truly cared about his central area community.
He never would refer to himself as a historian, but that's what he was.
The nightclub ones are sort of the glamour end of things, the concert shots and so on. But his day-to-day work in the community, those are much appreciated.
It's different when you have a photograph. It gives a whole nother dimension.
He took photographs of birthday parties, weddings, oh, you name it. He was capturing things he thought should be captured.
He didn't just photograph Black people, you know, he photographed Chinese, Japanese, Filipino.
In the Central District in those days, it was just a melting pot and a mix of all kinds of people. That was a very special time in Seattle history. How lucky are we to have somebody who documents the history of a community that otherwise may not have been documented at all?
It's an opportunity to time travel and see how vital and interesting their lives were at that time.
If it were not for the Smith collection, there'd be a huge void for us in terms of documenting over the decades the Central District.
Redlining limited where black people could own homes in Seattle. That was the Central District. But gentrification has now forced them out. Also gone, much of the rich culture and soul of that community.
It's just really important to have the history there so people don't think, well, yeah, a lot of black people used to live here and now they don't.
I realize the historical significance, and I don't want those pictures to just sit. But this is old.
So Butch, with the help of the Black Heritage Society and the Museum of History and Industry, are making a concerted effort to get Al Smith Sr.'s images out there as a way of connecting the present to the past.
Look at those dresses.
I know.
Yeah.
It helps to ground you, and when you're grounded and feeling connected, I think that sense of community is more conducive to building neighborhoods and the character of neighborhoods. Recently, we were having a discussion about how character matters in our community, and when we see these images and these photographs that capture that character, it just reinforces it.
It's a great way to memorialize what the Central District used to be.
Smith's photos are so captivating, they were featured in a 2022 memory study called SHARP, Sharing History Through Active Reminiscence and Photo Imagery. It brought together the city's Aging and Disability Services and the University of Washington. Seniors with early Alzheimer's or dementia walked the neighborhoods of their youth, using some of Smith's pictures to jog memories and discussions. One particular photo consistently got a huge response.
That was the photo of the parade. It was that big Cadillac with the Esquire on the side and somebody waving in the crowd. There was a lot of, I remember that.
When people can see these images and these photographs, it's defining. It gives you a sense of place about where you live or where you came from.
It allowed these black elders to be seen in places where they hadn't been seen in a long time. You know, there were just a lot of great discussions and memories, and a lot of laughter.
You know, he carried his camera everywhere, right?
The Black Heritage Society and the Smith family continue to push for Al Smith Sr.'s photos to be prominently displayed in new Seattle buildings as well as long-standing community landmarks. All this to honor one man's lifetime hobby and transform it into a lasting legacy.
He would appreciate it, but it's not something he expected. He said, I wasn't doing anything special. I was just taking pictures. He meant that. He was just surprised nobody else was.
If you'd like to learn more about Al Smith's extensive collection, the Museum of History and Industry has a wonderful look at his life and work online. Just go to mohi.org/exhibits and search for the photographs of Al Smith.
I love the energy of the game.
Next on CityStream, as baseball shifts into high gear, see how the Mariners are encouraging kids of color to step up to the plate. The Seattle Mariners are reaching beyond T-Mobile Park to help more kids of color get involved in baseball and softball. Brian Callanan shows us how the M's and these young players are part of a major league effort to create a more inclusive game.
got a really good, strong team.
Meet the Kings from the Baseball Beyond Borders organization.
Second, oh, you're catching. Did I get everybody?
You could say they're just like a lot of teams, full of kids with big dreams.
Well, I've always wanted to be a Major League Baseball player.
And they're ready to work.
I feel like the motivation's getting there, so I feel like I can do it as long as I try hard.
But there's one thing that makes this group a little different.
I look at like teams in the MLB, and like I don't really see people that look like me.
Believe in yourself, always.
The number of African-American players in Major League Baseball has declined steadily since 1981. Just over 6% of all MLB players this season are black.
Come on, JT, better throw.
A statistic Coach Lenny Smith wants to change.
Kings organization is offering every background, every nationality. You want to play baseball? Come to the Kings. We will help you play.
Gerardo almost got a hit.
With support from Baseball Beyond Borders and the Seattle Mariners, the Kings play against top-level teams across the Northwest, making an impact in more ways than one.
We get some stares, but I don't really mind it. I'm just here to play ball.
Coach Smith says his players are learning quickly, and they're teaching others too.
These kids are the next generation. So more these guys work hard, the effort that they put in, they can help change the future.
But along with that look to the future, this team is also reckoning with our past.
Why are we so divided? And what it is about sports that can bring us together.
Last year, the Kings and Converge Media traveled south on a reconciliation tour, holding a baseball clinic at Jackson State, a historically black university, then continuing to Alabama to visit the Equal Justice Initiative Legacy Museum and Memorial.
You know, 20 years from now, man, I hope that the community can see Baseball Beyond Borders as a program that really focused more than just baseball, right? It was an opportunity for student athletes to really understand and get a sense of purpose and identity.
The tour inspired a renewed sense of purpose for the Seattle Mariners, too.
It's important for us to serve our community.
Nova Newcomer is a longtime baseball fan and director of community relations for the M's. She also heads the Mariners Care Foundation.
We can't do what we do on the field if we're not also succeeding off the field and making an impact in our community.
This season, the Mariners have made a big impact by opening 5 new Mariners training centers across the state, like this one in Columbia City. It's the official training facility of Baseball Beyond Borders and its sister organization, Softball Beyond Borders.
I love the energy of the game. I also like the teamwork. It also taught me how to trust myself and my teammates.
I love the intensity of the game. I love how fast-paced it's going. And I love how much fun the girls bring to the field.
Michelle and Isabella are Seattle area players who are also part of the Hometown 9, a scholarship program set up by the Mariners to help players from marginalized communities with financial and academic support and mentorship from players and the Mariners front office, too.
It really taught me how to be a leader on the field, on and off the field.
It's a lesson that hits home for these players, thankful to gain the access to a game that can only be played when people come together.
No matter what color you are, no matter what age you are, this is a game of fun. It's a game of love and friendship and family, so everyone should be allowed to play.
The big payoff this summer for Baseball and Softball Beyond Borders? They'll host the Major League-sponsored Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities, or RBI tournament for young players, right after the All-Star Game in Seattle.
And we just thought that was such a great opportunity for our region to see the game at the highest level and then also see these kids that are coming up, the next generation. We know that those are things that go beyond the sport, that are really about tying back the fabric of our community.
Always go as hard as you can.
It's all part of an effort to add new energy to the game of baseball with new faces, an effort that isn't without struggle.
Don't lay down. Let's go. Get up and fight. Let's go.
But these players say they're up for the challenge, and they're running full speed towards some major league dreams.
I'm one day I'm going to make a change, and that's I'm going to be in that lineup, and there's going to be multiple African-American kids following me.
Watch for a special announcement about Baseball Beyond Borders and the tournament they're hosting here in Seattle at the Mariners game, July 14th. Just ahead on CityStream, if you need medical, dental, or vision care, a special clinic is just days away, and all the services are free. In a few days, thousands of people will converge on Seattle Center. Many will be there to take advantage of free medical, dental, and vision care as part of the massive Seattle-King County Clinic. Many others will be volunteers ready to help fellow community members in need. Producer Randy Ng looks at the preparations underway.
Ready?
Okay, I'm ready anytime.
Ni hao.
Hello.
Y bienvenidos a la phòng khám Seattle-King County Clinic.
Today we have had 4 folks to do recordings in the top 4 languages: English, Spanish, Vietnamese, and actually we do Cantonese and Mandarin, so I guess that would be 5.
欢迎光临西雅图金俊诊所.
This is the very first part where we can kind of put them at ease and give them some general instruction and direction of what to expect.
Bắt đầu từ 5 giờ 30.
It's not always easy for people to approach you with a question or to ask what they need to ask.
Please be back by 5:30 a.m. when we distribute tickets.
请尊重您的邻居，有些人在试图休息。
This is one of those small details. It really helps patients feel comfortable, to feel a little more at ease in their surroundings.
Cuando esté dentro del Fisher Pavilion y otras instalaciones de la clínica.
No, I'm not a pro, but really I do enjoy doing it, and really I just want to use my skills, my time, my hours, everything that I can just to help this to be possible.
Aquí en el Fisher Pavilion.
Please remember to wear your mask.
Yêu cầu quý vị đeo khẩu trang trừ khi ăn uống hoặc đang được điều trị. 请随时与工作人员交谈.
It is awesome listening to the languages, and we appreciate it so much.
Okay, thank you.
The true scope of the clinic was revealed in an eye-opening documentary, Stronger Than Medicine. It affirmed what can be accomplished when the community comes together for the common good.
Here's the story of all these people and organizations coming together to help serve their community. So we wanted to capture that.
You walk in the door, you've got an abscessed tooth and you're experiencing pain and infection and it's affecting your whole life, and we can fix that for you today.
That's too good to be true. To get free dental, free vision, free medical, there's got to be a catch, and they're skeptical about it. Anybody is welcome to come in. You don't need ID, you don't need documentation of status. I loved the idea of providing healthcare with no barriers. I loved the idea that there'd be an army of interpreters.
The title of this documentary, Stronger Than Medicine, reflects a common thread discovered during its production.
Stronger than the healthcare piece was the fact that the community was coming together, that people cared about one another.
And that was a really powerful message to experience. And beyond that, it was amazing to see, well, what are we capable of? Imagine if we applied that energy to other things.
At the end of the day, we're all people, and we're all here just taking care of each other.
People coming together with a common theme, a common desire to help.
All of the people who are working there are there to serve. They're there to do some good in some people's lives.
And that good is intended to help everyone in need, including those you might not suspect.
Who is in need and what does in need look like? It's not only people who are out of a job. It's not only people who are experiencing homelessness.
The majority of the people come do have some form of health care, but they can't afford to use it because the copay is too large. The out-of-pocket is unavailable.
From ethnicity to ethnicity and young and old, that was the same story. That was eye-opening and humbling to me.
One of the things my husband said when he came to volunteer was, wow, these people look just like me.
And as hundreds of people arrive in the middle of the night, they wait their turn. The stories they share reveal the troubling flaws in the system.
She needs glasses. Her glasses are broken. We don't have Medicaid or anything, so she's getting glasses.
I am self-employed. I have health insurance, but it's sort of the minimum mandated health insurance, and there's no dental on it.
I worked for 30 years. I have Medicare, but I can't afford glasses, or I have to decide, do I get my medicine or do I get my teeth fixed?
I'm here today for my vision too, also to check it out, you know.
Dental. I just take the service for dental.
For documentarian Tony Grobe, a sense of respect and kindness prevailed among volunteers.
You're surrounded by people who are setting a great example of respect, treating people with dignity, listening, giving people the time that they need to express themselves.
There might be some problems with the system, but at least here there's not a problem with the people. The people all want to help. So I think that says a lot about our community.
No one exemplifies that compassion and helpful attitude more than retiree Frankie Manning.
All of these people are volunteering their time to make a difference, and they care. And so when people think that, nobody cares, just look around. It's here. I am an old person. It gets me out of bed in the morning. And I feel so grateful because I know these people need this care and they can't get it no place else. So I feel like this is important work.
This documentary proves goodwill combined with the power of community can work wonders.
I'm volunteering at the clinic this year. I'm putting the camera down and I'm just going to roll up my sleeves and say, how can I help?
Once again, the Seattle King County Clinic is a 4-day event offering free medical, dental, and vision care to anyone in need. It also begins this Thursday, April 27th, and runs through Sunday, April 30th. If you'd like more information on how to receive services, go to seattlecenter.org/SKC Clinic. We'll be right back. CityStream returns from Washington Hall. This place has seen it all in its 115 years, everything from music and theater performances to weddings, lectures, even boxing matches. But after all that time, the hall began to show its age and was in danger of being demolished. Then in 2009, nonprofit Historic Seattle stepped in to save it. For Historic Seattle, that's nothing new. It also advocated for the preservation of a treasured apartment building about a mile north of here. Producer David Albright shows the effort to save the beloved La Quinta apartments.
I moved in for the architecture because I thought it was an amazing place to live with lots of nice outdoor space. What I didn't expect was the community.
It's so easy to just come out into the courtyard in the summer and sit out here and have an impromptu barbecue, kind of share food.
You find details everywhere, the door handles, the crystal door handles, the wood floors, the arches.
People would say this all the time, it felt like a secret garden, like a total little oasis in like vibrant Capitol Hill.
It's a challenging space too, right? Because it's a challenge to have a front door that's entirely glass, but then it also creates a little frame. You see people coming and going, you see the life being lived. It's that kind of thing where the proof is in the pudding. The building is designed to build community, and it just does that.
The La Quinta Apartments, it was built in 1927, and it was built by developer Frederick Anhalt, who some may know. He was very much known for his 1920s apartment buildings. The La Quinta is more unique because the style is what we call Spanish eclectic.
It started because we learned that the building was going up for sale, and because they own the two houses next to this building, we had nightmares of a giant apartment complex or something like that. So none of us really knew how to do it. So Samantha had started on some links and connecting with people. They put us in contact with Eugenia, and so we could have a way to know how to do this.
Once we saw the property and how special it was, Historic Seattle decided that it was something that was very much worth our efforts to help. We were able to find the funding within our budget to have a nomination prepared And it's kind of neat to see how people have kind of come out of the woodwork to help save it.
I grew up on 17th and Denny. This is my dad's building. I learned to bike down this street here. I remember crashing into a bush down that way. It was a very sort of integrated environment. The fact that my dad owned it, there was a couple mixed couples. It feels similar. It still has like a Capitol Hill feel to it. I mean, I think the gentrification has kicked in. There definitely used to be, I think, more black folks around here. Yeah, so I grew up in 9, and that was my bedroom. I left this building, when I was 7, had no connection to it, but just from living in Capitol Hill, making friends, and came to find people that have lived here again. And I think it's that kind of place where people kind of knit together pretty quickly. So
I just want to kind of go over some of the process and the next steps and then what to expect.
So February 3rd is the hearing with the Seattle Landmarks Board.
Are you planning on all doing verbal comments, or some of you might do written, or both? Or
it's not always clear cut, so I'm a little nervous.
And definitely work in what a benefit it is during this pandemic too, right? To have this space.
So much to say.
The residents were great because they were excited. They wanted to participate and help somehow, and so they all had different skill sets on their own. And one of the residents quickly created a really nice website, which is awesome. Another resident is a graphic designer, so she created the Viva La Quinta logo and the poster, and so it all kind of came together really well.
Several times we've talked about trying to make this happen as a community, but not really knowing how to go about it. So I think this time it seems like with all the support we're getting that it's possible.
As an architect, it's really nice to hear when it feels like architecture actually has an effect on community, and I think in this place it obviously does with the community support.
I move that the board approve the nomination.
I second the motion.
Approve.
Approve.
I approve.
I approve.
I approve.
I approve.
And I also approve.
We did it! Cheers! Congratulations! Yay!
I've been here 17 years, and it's not just a certain group of people. It's whoever lives here. So that's pretty amazing that it keeps kind of fostering the same sort of community and interaction.
The space creates community. I mean, I don't know a single person in the city that has that in the way that La Quinta has that.
Moving here showed me how important architecture is. Now I really appreciate how buildings actually move people through space, how they bring people together or keep people apart, how negligent design can just, through no fault of its own, squash community, and something really intentionally designed like this can build it.
That wraps up this episode of CityStream from Washington Hall. If you'd like to learn more about its history, or if you have rental inquiries, just go to washingtonhall.org. I'm Enrique Cerna. Thanks for watching.